Alright, what's up guys? My name is Matt for those of you who don't know me, also known as Simply Volvo in the Volvo community. Today I'm going to give it an attempt at video logging, something I wanted to try for a while, so I figured I'll give it a shot. So today I'm going to be pulling my motor. I'm recording with my iPhone 6s, so it's 1080p quality, so if that's not good enough, I apologize. Alright, so here's the car I'm working on. It's a 95 850 T-5R in black. It's a sedan. I've had this car for probably about 5 years now. It's been through a lot. It's been through a lot of motors. I've had a lot of issues with spun bearings, loss of oil pressure. The one in here right now is actually a used motor that I just tossed some H-beams in. It's pretty crusty inside, so I think a lot of the stuff inside got clogged in the pickup, and I think I lost oil pressure and basically spun the bearings. So I'm putting back together my forged motor. It is a 82mm block with Wiseco Pistons, forged K1 connecting rods, Glyco Sputtered bearings, RN crank, all that good stuff. So I got all that at the machine shop right now. I'll toss a picture up of all the parts and everything. Right now I'm just working on pulling the motor. Alright, I got all the fluids out and everything, oil, transmission fluid, coolant. I'm probably going to reuse the coolant because it only has about 40 miles on it, and the Volvo coolant's pretty expensive. So over here, it's about $40 for the stuff, so I'm going to reuse that. I'm not trying to reuse the transmission fluid, obviously not the oil. So my next step after doing that is pull the axles. I got the axle nuts off, I got the control arm bolts loosened, I got the ball joint bolt loosened and removed. So now I'm going to remove the little axle retainer over here and then pull out the passenger side axle. Alright, so I got the passenger axle out. That one's pretty easy. That one always slides right out. It's right over here. Now I'm working on the driver's side. The driver's side is a little tricky because it has a circlip, and usually what I like to do is get one of these up under there to pop the circlip out. I usually shove it up like that, give it a couple hammers, which I already did, and usually it'll just slide right out, which it is slowly. So let me pull this out of the way. There we go. Both the axles are out. I'm gonna get the control arms back on, probably put the wheels back on, and now I'm gonna start working on some of the underside engine mounts, as well as the downpipe over there. I don't know if you can see it. Got both the axles out, got my wheels back on. Gonna start pulling the downpipe, and then I got one transmission bolt down there I gotta get to. To pull the downpipe, I gotta pull the intake right here, so I can get to my O2 wires down there that you can see them. So let's get to it. Alright, she's out. Almost forgot to disconnect the wideband, so that could have been bad, but downpipe doesn't look too bad. Starting to get a little rusty. It's been sitting for a while. Maybe I'll get a bead blasted and a ceramic coated or something. Gotta get the front torque mount out and the bolt for the rear engine mount. Definitely gotta replace this thing. That thing looks nasty. So yeah. Alright, so I got everything on the bottom done, so I'm gonna put the car back on the ground. Alright, I'm gonna start pulling off some of the top stuff, top intercooler pipe, ignition rail, fuel lines, fuel rail, intake manifold, all that kind of stuff. Alright, this is my custom ignition rail. It's just some 1/8 aluminum with some drill holes. We got the ignition 1/8 coils, arguably the best ones on the market. We have some custom plug wires down here, and this is simply just bolted into one of the valve cover bolts like that. So I got an oversized rail, 8 AN lines. I got an aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. I think it's the 13129. And I got the feed through here and return through here.
Awesome picture that we took. Listen.
Alright, here we got the custom fuel rail. I got Bosch EV14 2200cc injectors. I run them at 2 bar, so they're the equivalent of 1720cc. Just a simple 1" by 1" box aluminum. This is actually made by a friend. And we have 8 AN feed and 8 AN return. And I just drip fuel everywhere. Alright, I'm going to start removing my intake manifold. It's a custom manifold I made, 3.6 liter plenum, 4.5 inch runners. I'll show up more when it's out. Alright, so here we have the intake manifold. It's a little dirty, a little oxidized right now, but I'll get her cleaned up. It's a chopped RN plenum, 4.5 inch runners into a 3.6 liter trapezoidal box plenum. We got the linkage off just a regular NA manifold. It's got the 3-inch throttle body, IAC, vac tree, a few custom bungs, and the custom oil dipstick mill. Talk a little bit about the cylinder head. It's fully ported and polished, stage 5 from CFM Performance. See how nice and big those ports are. From 171 to 240 CFM on the intake, and about I think it was 130 to 180 on the exhaust side. It's got KM 280 cams, 11 millimeters of lift. It also has the Autotech valve springs, good for 9,500 RPM and 12 millimeters of lift. Here's some of the custom ignition wires I have for my Ignition 1A setup. Alright, I think I'm going to take a little break, grab some lunch, but next up I want to remove the catch can and start removing all of the coolant hoses. Alright, I'm going to start pulling the fuel pressure regulator and the catch can. Alright, so I'm going to go over the induction system a little bit. We're going to start with the intake system. We have a 4-inch J pipe to a 4 to 5-inch 90. We have a 5-inch mass airflow sensor housing, custom built, and a 5x10 K&N filter. This is all custom built by me. Then we have a air return for the Mac boost solenoid that I have in the car. Next we have the OT pipe. This pipe runs from the turbo to the intercooler. It's the hot side of the intercooler pipe. We have a V-band here that attaches to the Holset HX40 turbo, bead rolled ends, H-RFL blow-off valve by TurboXS, genuine. We also have a 3/8 MPT bung that I currently have plugged. Eventually I want to put in a GM IAT sensor for pre-intercooler IAT readings. Next up we have the post intercooler to intake manifold assembly. It's just a simple 45 bend with 290s. We have a bung welded on for the IAC, and we also have a 3/8 bung that's plugged right now, just like the other one, for another GM IAT sensor that will be post intercooler readings. This way I can calculate the efficiency. Alright, now I'm going to start removing all the coolant lines, all that fun stuff. Alright, so I'm going to start pulling off a bunch of electronic stuff, starter motor, wiring harness, alternator wires, just that kind of stuff. Alright, so I got all the wires out of the way, just out of the way of the motor. I got to pull the power steering pump, I got to take off the shift linkage, I got to do the front engine mount bolt, I got to do the side bolts, which I actually forgot to do when the car was up. I just realized that. And then it should be ready to come out, and then once I start pulling it, I got to remove the AC bolts. Alright, I got the shift cables off. I also got out the heater core lines that connect to there and from this water pipe into there. I also forgot to take off the serpentine belt, so I took that off. Lastly, I just got to take off the power steering pump and then the side engine mount bolts, and it should be pretty much ready to pull. And this bolt too. Alright, it's pretty much ready to pull. I got the power steering pump off. I usually just let that hang down there when I'm pulling the motor. I got the torque mount off. I got my ground straps off. I got the bolt down there off. I just got to get the two side bolts and I can pull it out. Been pretty much storing everything, all the parts in the trunk, just to keep stuff out of the garage, keep it a little less cluttered because it's pretty cluttered. Probably not gonna pull the motor for probably till after Memorial Day, so until then.